Promotional consideration paid for by the following.
Hello and welcome to another quick shot review for Cheap Shot Entertainment. As ever, I am your host Luke, and you are the Cheap Shot Nation, and no doubt if you're listening to this podcast, a movie fan. Well, I've got something really good for you this week. Been to the cinema, as I usually do. Been to see Abigail, a story of a 12-year-old girl that gets kidnapped by a gang of criminals, dum-dum criminals, I suppose you could call them, who find a secret about the girl, find out this secret after everything's gone down. So they expect to hold the girl for ransom for the rich dad. They find out who they think is the dad is like a gangster or whatever, and they're all like, "No, not doing this." And yeah, plot twist. If you've seen the trailer, you'll probably know what the plot twist is. Even the movie poster, if you're watching this on YouTube, gives away a little bit of what this could be. But Abigail is dressed as a ballerina this whole time, and through the whole film, and that gives way to some sort of some scenes of like body contortion and stuff like that because they're dancing around, and it makes it like really funny because this ballerina's sort of killing people and it's really fun. It's one of those horror movies that is just pure unadulterated fun. It's a popcorn horror movie, and we don't get those very much anymore. But the last couple of horror films that I could say were horror films have been really good. They've been really good with practical effects and sort of hiding CGI. Imaginary is not included in that, and in fact, I wish Imaginary was Imaginary and it never got released because it's awful. However, the films that I've seen since that, um, Immaculate was the first one, followed by The First Omen, then followed by Abigail, have all got really good scenes of body horror. Obviously, Immaculate and The First Omen explore the themes of the female body being a vessel, etc., etc. However, Abigail is just pure fun. It's horror on a different level, and sometimes you need these things. It's like Jason X. It's ridiculous, but it's fun. However, this is really well made. The settings are really good. The acting is really good. Shout out to Alicia Weir of me know her from Matilda, doing the singing and the dancing and stuff like that. She's really good, and she's coming of age as a young actress, and she's going to get a lot of parts in the future because she is very good with her expression and the way she delivers lines. And we've now seen that she can be a goody two shoes in Matilda. She can also say the swears in Wicked Little Letters, and now she can play horror movie characters in Abigail. That's a good range of movement here. The film's directed by Matt Bettinelli Olpin and Tyler Gillett. It's written by Stephen Shields and Guy Busick. It also stars Melissa Barrera, who plays the main character really well, and Dan Stevens, to name a few of the characters. And the best part about this film is that there's only about 8 characters that you have to worry about, because the cast is kept to a minimum, and that is good because ultimately you've got the antagonists and you've got the protagonist, um, where the protagonist is on their own, who flip side happens to be a vampire. So you're like, hold on a second, should I be rooting for this girl? Hell yeah! The bad guys have kidnapped her. Why not have some fun with it? One of the telltale lines of this is, what can I say? I like to play with my food, and yes, she certainly does. But the very idea of a ballerina vampire is just awesome. Um, so after a group of criminals kidnap the ballerina daughter of a powerful underworld figure, they retreat to an isolated mansion, unaware that they are locked inside with no normal little girl. And having just given you the basic plot, you know what that means. So it also stars Catherine Newton of Lisa Frankenstein most recently. Also a very good film. William Collette, Kevin Durand playing Peter. That's the dum-dum sort of musclehead. Angus Cloud, who plays Dean, who unfortunately passed away last year at the tender age of around 24. And Giancarlo Esposito playing Lambert, with Matthew Good playing the father. So we've got less than 10 people in this film for relevant characters, and it's just really, really good. Really good. They've got to survive the night. It's Team Radio Silence who established themselves with their work in VHS with the VHS franchise. Ready or Not, great film. I think that was the first film we reviewed on Cheap Shot Entertainment, or now Quick Shot Reviews. And it's just really, really good. I can't say how much, if you are a horror fan or not, this is just a really, really fun movie. I was just so taken by it from start to finish, from the very beginning to the very end. It's an absolute nightmare scenario of babysitting in a big mansion with a vampire. It's great, absolutely fantastic. I really enjoyed their other work as well as Scream 5, 6. Looking forward to Scream 7. Didn't think they could do the same job as 1 to 4, but it still continues. You've got Melissa Barrera and Catherine Newton, who really stood out in this film, do a wonderful job. In fact, all the characters do, because they're allowed to be fleshed out, because there's not too many people in this film. Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic. Popcorn flick. Go and see it. It's brilliant. As opposed to the big budget movies. Although this had a fair budget at 28 million. Unfortunately, for the time it's been released, and I think it could have got more in October. But such as cinema releases, they do get released when you probably don't think they should be. That being said, Abigail, top notch. I'd go and see this one. That's an insider tip from Cheap Shot Entertainment. We'll see you for more movies next week. We're going to go and see Civil War, the new film with Kirsten Dunst, outlining the end of the world and the riots that contained within rather. So it's kind of like The Last of Us, with the no zombies, obviously, or infected. But it looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to it. So I will see you then, film fans. Thank you very much for listening, and goodbye.
Hiya!